Gotta bust out the big guns for that one. They're just getting more and more serious, you guys. Like, nobody wants to know my favorite color. Holy crap, holy. Okay. Ah! Why am I so nervous? I don't even know why I'm so nervous. I haven't done this in a year. Maybe that's why I'm so nervous. Friends, we are gonna film some makeup today. And I don't do makeup. Well, I do makeup. I don't do makeup well. And I thought it would be fun to do a little Q&A whilst I'm doing my makeup. And I'm nervous because I honestly didn't even check to see if anyone submitted anything. I asked on my Instagram, ask me some questions while I do a get ready with me. Let's see if anybody on Instagram actually saw it and submitted some questions. Wouldn't that be sad? Oh, thank God there's questions there. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just get into it. These questions are a lot. Okay, so we're starting off with some hyaluronic acid serum, just for the base of my makeup, and then we're gonna go in with a vitamin C moisturizer. First question: do you have a husband? If so, why is he never in your videos? Okay, I do have a husband. His name is Andrew. He hates social media with every bone in his body. He only just got an Instagram account a few years back. He joined Instagram, has posted a handful of things on there, not much, usually family stuff, and that's about it. That's the extent of his social media. He doesn't have Facebook. He does not have a TikTok. Any of his like free time where he's scrolling, if you would say, he does YouTube. Like, he watches a lot of like car stuff on YouTube, and he just has no interest in it. He pops up every once in a while to, like, you know, be in the background of my videos and whatnot, but to get him to be on camera with me would almost be torture for him. He's been in a few of my older YouTube videos too, if you go back in time. But yeah, he does not enjoy it, so I don't force him to do it, just like I don't force my kids. I'd love him to be in my stuff, but he doesn't want to be in my stuff, so I don't make him be in my stuff. Simple as that. So next we're gonna go in with foundation. I use the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear, just with a beauty blender. Next question. Wondering about SSRIs. Was it something you needed PP, or were you taking it before? What? Hold on. I have to Google some stuff. Antidepressants. Okay. So was it something you needed postpartum, I'm assuming, which is PP, or were you taking it before? Good question. Excellent question. So I do suffer from postpartum depression. I had it with my son. I still currently have it, at least what I believe I still have it. I started taking antidepressants, specifically Cipralex, about 4 months after my son was born last year. And I've been on them for almost a year. When I was younger, I did suffer from extreme anxiety and depression when I was in college, so in my really early 20s. So I think that because I had that experience with depression and anxiety previously to when I had postpartum, I really recognized the signs that came with it. It wasn't new to me at all. And it scared me because I knew how difficult it was when I was younger and how I struggled. And it's interesting because they're very different. Like, I experienced two very, very different experiences with postpartum versus my anxiety that I had in my early 20s. So when I was in college, it was very physical. I had chest pains, I had panic attacks. Everything I felt was very physical, and it took a lot out of me. So that's when I started taking Cipralex. For I think it was about a year and a half, I would say. And then I was able to slowly wean myself off of them with doctor help. And the chest pains and all of that went away. With postpartum depression, it wasn't so much physical as it was mental. I was very not myself. I felt like I was just existing in my body. I had a very hard time with, like, empathizing with myself or others. I just felt like if anything happened, whatever. Like, if something happy happened, whatever. If something sad happened, whatever. Like, I just was existing, and not in a good way. So I knew something was wrong. I talked to my doctor, and he immediately knew it was postpartum depression based on the timeline, based on what I was describing, based on what I was feeling. And so we worked together because I had taken Cipralex in the past. He figured we would use what I have used previously, and that has worked for me. So that's essentially my experience with antidepressants. And honestly, there are so many out there. There are so many different brands. There are so many different strengths. There are so many different ones available. So if you are feeling like you may be suffering from depression, anxiety, anything like that, postpartum depression, you need to talk to someone. That's the first step. Talk to a loved one, talk to your doctor, and they will help you find the best route for you. And therapy. Therapy is life-changing. Foundation is done. Now we're moving on to concealer. Most of my products are going to be drugstore, by the way. So, I mean, that's a good thing, but if you're looking for fancy, it's not here. Okay, so I'm using the Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer. I also put this on my eyes to use as like a base for my eyeshadow. So let's do the next question. Oof. Okay. Gotta bust out the big guns for that one. They're just getting more and more serious, you guys. Like, nobody wants to know my favorite color. Holy crapoly. Okay. Cheers. Let's move on to this. Let's do it. Have you had an eating disorder? I love how you combat diet culture. Okay, let's get into this. Yes, I have. Pretty much my whole life. I didn't actually realize that I had an eating disorder until recently. And I think that that's quite common. The media paints eating disorders very black and white. And I think that that's the reason why it took me so many years to realize that I had an active eating disorder. I suffered from binge eating probably my entire life, starting from when I was very young. You know, sneak food and eat a ton of food to kind of fill a void that I felt I was missing. And I think that's where my eating disorders started. Due to dieting and diet culture, I have struggled with varying levels of eating disorders, and I think my eating disorder was at its absolute worst when I was dieting. So let's talk about that. I did keto, the keto diet, low carb, whatever you want to call it. Back in 2018 I started it, and I was forming a lot of very new disordered eating habits that I wasn't even aware that they were disordered eating habits. Specifically, I was eating very small amounts of food. I lost a lot of weight very quickly. Physically, I was drained all the time. I wasn't sleeping. After a few months, I started incorporating intermittent fasting. I know that there are a lot of people who are diehard intermittent fasters. I hate to break it to you, but that's an eating disorder. Not only is it not eating for long periods of a time, but then you usually binge for a window, which isn't, I mean, yeah. If you're thinking that you're intermittent fasting and you're doing something good for your body, I would highly suggest you you evaluate and look into why you think that's the case. I think that my eating disorder was definitely at its worst during that time that I was doing keto. But on top of that, I would have weekends, like cheat weekends, where I would eat really well during the week and then gorge and binge on all of my favorite foods during the weekend and then go back to keto as if nothing happened. Me starting intuitive eating and working on unlearning bad habits and diet culture, I think is something for myself, but in turn, I think it's helping a lot of people realize that maybe what they have done in the past or what they're currently doing might be disordered and not good for them in the long run. Next question. Okay, we're moving on to the eyes. My palette is over here, so I'm not going to show it on camera, also because I don't necessarily condone the brand that it is any longer. I will explain kind of what colors I'm using. I'm using it for a mirror too. I'm gonna see if I can find a lighthearted question to go into with eyeshadow. Do you get mistaken for Katie Mixon ever? She's my favorite. Okay. So, yeah, honestly, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until I started TikTok. And I get it all the time now. So my celebrity lookalikes according to TikTok and the odd time on Instagram are Katie Mixon, Ashley Graham, which, I mean, thank you. I don't see it, but thank you. I'm trying to think who else I get mistaken for a lot. I think her name is Rose on 2.5 Men. I can't remember her name. The actress's name. I've heard Natalie Portman, which is, I mean, again, I don't see it, but thank you. Those are the actresses that I usually, and I've heard a couple of like chefs. So I'm just using like a light medium brown on my upper lids. Going in with like a pale pink now. All matte shades. Okay, let's do another lighthearted question. Favorite dill pickle products and where to get them? Oh my gosh, anything and everything dill pickle, sign me up. So I like a good classic dill pickle chip, like Lay's dill pickle is probably my favorite. I also really enjoy dill pickle dip with like a classic chip, like Miss Vicky's like original or like Ruffles original. And I usually go with the Philly dip, or I will do like homemade dip, which I'll do a recipe for sometime. And then what else dill pickle? My favorite pickles, like brand, are probably Strub's pickles, though I actually recently tried Farm Boy's brand of pickles and they're delicious too, just classic dill. I'm just taking that same medium brown and putting it under my eye now. Yeah, literally I could talk about pickles for an entire video. I should literally just make a video of myself and just eating dill pickle products and trying them all out. Oh my gosh, I think I'll do that. I'll add that to my list. So I'm just buffing it out with a brush now so that it's not so harsh. What are some of your favorite dill pickle products? Size or style do you ask for when you get your lashes done? Yeah, so hold on. I do have lash extensions. I've had them for a while now. And I ask for, well, honestly, pre-COVID I had a lash salon, so I'm pretty well versed with lashes. So I kind of knew what I wanted when I went in there. And I just said, whatever you're comfortable with, this is what I like. And she said, perfect. So then she did my lashes and I love them. So they are D-curl, hybrid lashes, which is a mix of fans and singles. And then they are 9 to 14 millimeters. 9 to 14 millimeters long. And then I think it's a kitten or an open eye. I can't really tell 100% sure what the map style is. But yeah, that's what to ask for if you want a similar style to mine. And if your lashes can handle it, a lash artist should be able to do it. I'm just putting like a shimmery champagne color on my lid right now. My favorite tool. Oh look, I lost a lash. Whoops. It's okay, I'm getting a fill next week. Okay, we are moving on to face now. So I'm gonna start with some bronzer for contour. So I'm using the Rimmel London Lasting Radiance Finishing Powder. All right, next question. Your natural hair is so beautiful, natural hair routine. Yes, I'm going to do that. I'll film a full YouTube tutorial. I do have a couple like mini tutorials on TikTok, but I will do a full one for you. What career did you want when you were growing up, and what is your official career now? That's a really good question. Okay. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a pop star, which is hilarious. So I wanted to be a singer. I wouldn't say I'm a very good singer, which is kind of funny. I would say that I'm decent, but I definitely am not like pop star quality material. Yeah, so I took singing lessons like up until I was 18 or 19. I like competed. I did musical theater. I loved doing musical theater. I think that if I were to do anything pop star-y, it would be something musical theater related, because I actually went to school for acting in my 20s. for film and television in Toronto, and I loved it. It was a very small program. It was hard to get in. I did pretty well in it. I wouldn't say like I'm like ready for the Oscars, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I met some amazing people there, and yeah, it was an experience. This looks really orange, but I'm gonna tone it down, I promise. I'm gonna use a little bit of translucent finishing powder just to kind of buff it down a bit. So yeah, I wanted to be a pop star, I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be famous. Okay, what is my official career now? It's interesting because like when people ask me what I do, up until not too long ago, I would say I'm a mom. Like I stay at home with my kids, I'm a mom. Pre-COVID, I had a lash salon, and before I went out on my own to open that, I had a full-time career. Like I was working in the car industry, doing business development and customer care, and I did that for many years. But then, you know, the way things go, I just ended up wanting to be home with my daughter. And we were able to do it. So I was a full-time mom, but then also I was running a lash salon out of my home and doing that up until COVID. So yeah, if you were to ask me a year ago what my career was, I would probably say I'm a mom. Like I'm a stay-at-home mom, that's what I do. I've been enjoying doing content creation for quite some time now. I've been doing it for about a year on TikTok. And more recently, I've been doing it on Instagram as well, and I really enjoy it. But I would say only recently am I monetizing from doing it. So I'm a full-time mom, but I'm also doing content creation for myself and for others. I have a YouTube channel that pays me like every once in a while to do their social media pages. So that's really nice as well. It's kind of keeps me busy, and yeah, I'm always busy. I don't have a moment to myself, so I definitely think what I'm doing is working because I'm constantly busy. Yes, that's my career. Oh, sorry, I'm just kind of like whipping into this stuff and not telling you what I'm doing. So I'm just using a Body Shop baked blush on the upper parts of my cheek and just on my nose a little bit. And we're gonna move on to contour, nose contour specifically. Let's get another question. Do you do your own nails or do you have them done? Excellent question. Super easy and laid back. I can handle that. I do my own nails. I got a gel lamp and gel polishes off of Amazon back when we were first like locked down for the first time, because I thought it would be fun to do at home, is like do your own nails. And I am obsessed now. I mean, obviously right now there's nothing on them. I do my own nails now. I don't get them done. And I find that when I have like gel shellac on my nails grow quicker, stronger. I look like I dipped my forehead in a pile of dirt. Okay, so I'm just buffing out the contour now on my nose, just with like a brush that has nothing on it. Making sure that it's blended as much as I can. And then we're gonna move on to highlight. That is probably going to be as blended as it's gonna get. Not that it matters because my forehead looks like someone smacked me in the face with a mud pie. On to the next question and highlight. For highlight, I'm going to use this Revolution palette, and then I'm also gonna use like a white shade from my makeup palette, like eyeshadow palette. What are your thoughts / experience with working out and exercising? Good question. Okay, for me, I hate working out, like going to a gym and working out. If you enjoy doing that, by all means do that. So for me, for exercise, what I like to do is walking. I do a lot of walking with my kids and family. Just getting outside and experiencing nature. We do like family hikes every once in a while too, like trail hikes. Nothing crazy, like no backpacking or like mountain hiking or anything like that. Yeah, that's my main. I have an eyelash in my eye. There we go. I also really enjoy dancing with my kids and like moving my body in that sense. that is my go-to version of exercising. I did the gym thing for a bit. I hate it. I hate it so much. Swimming in the summer, and we're also going to start getting into like a swimming routine in the fall and winter, taking our kids to the public pool, things like that. And yeah, that's my go-to. We're gonna do my brows now. Brows and another question. Okay, are you and your husband sexual active? Because he should be all over you. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, we have 2 kids. That should answer that question right there. Okay, let's do another question. And just so you know, I'm gonna go in with the Makeup by Mario, just the clear brow gel to start. How long have you and your husband been married / high school sweethearts? So this is actually a funny question. This person is assuming that we're high school sweethearts, and we're not. But we met in high school, which is kind of funny. Yeah, we were friends in high school. We were friends for years. We met in high school. We grew up in the same town. We were like friends when we were when we were older in high school, and we didn't date. We had nothing to do with one another. We were friends for so many years, and we started officially dating in college. I think 2nd year of college or end of 1st year of college. We've been together for 11 years now, and we've been married for 6 years. Do you want to know a funny story though? So everyone always thinks that I'm tall. Like whenever they ask about like clothing sizing and stuff like that, they're like, oh, you're tall, so like what is your height, so that I can gauge it when I'm ordering the same clothes as you. I'm not tall, but I think I give off tall girl energy, and I love that because I love tall girls. All of my friends, like most of my friends, some of my best friends are tall girls. I love tall girls. They're my fave. Yeah, I give off tall girl energy, and I'm not tall. I'm 5'3". But when I first met Andrew in high school, we were in grade 9, and he had braces. He was really dorky and like cute, and I towered over him. I remember meeting him, and he's like, hey, I'm Potter, because he would always go by his last name, Potter, and I called him Potter up until like 3rd year of marriage. Actually, I think I called him Potter until we had kids, and then I was like, I don't want my kids like thinking their dad's name is Potter when really that's their last name. Anyways, so funny. So yeah, so when I first met him, he was like here on me. Now he's like here on me. I just think that's such a funny story, that the first time I met him, he was like this goofy kid, 14, like a foot shorter than me, and like braces and glasses, and now he's like towering over me, and we're married with kids. What is life? I'm gonna do, where is it? So I do the Instant Lift Brow Pencil from e.l.f. What did the post mean about fat people fetishes? Okay, let's talk about it. I made a post, like a funny little post on Instagram and TikTok about fat fetishing, and how, you know, every once in a while, usually a male, I'm not gonna like say it's all men, but it's usually a male who slides into my inbox, and then they're like, hey, you know, I just want to let you know I really love your posts, this and that, and they seem very genuine, and I don't like to discriminate as best I can, and why people are in my inbox, because 90% of the time the people in my inbox are amazing humans that I have like an awesome connection with and I bond with. But every once in a while we get a weirdo in there. So yeah, so every once in a while I'll get like a message from usually a male in my inbox talking about how they like my posts. And then I say, thank you, that's great, blah blah. And then in turn I find out that they have like a fat fetish, and they start asking for specific body part photos, and asking me to like eat on camera, and asking me to wear certain things and style different poses. And I've even had people ask me to do something and they'll pay me for it. And I honestly am just I know that for some people, like I've had a couple people be like, well, wouldn't that be flattering? No, it's not flattering. Being like put into a box and saying that because you're a fat person, therefore you're only worthy for people who have fat fetishes. I don't want to be fetishized. I just want to be like, recognize that I'm a beautiful woman. I have a curvy body. I have a fat body, but I want to be seen past that. It's not a compliment to me to be fetishized for being fat. Most people are like that as well. So that's what that meant. I'm not saying that if you're the type of person who likes a bigger body and that's kind of what they go for, that they're like, oh, like, but that's the kind of people that I find attractive, is people with bigger bodies and like this and that. I'm not saying that you have a fat fetish. I'm just saying that that's your preference. There's a difference between fetishizing and having a preference. Fetishizing is meaning that I am only good for that part of my body and that's it. This is getting spicy. We're getting spicy in these questions. Man, this is gonna be like a 45-minute long video. I'm gonna have to edit the crap out of this. My eyebrows look horrible right now. Of course, the day that I do them on camera. When and how did you decide to ditch diets? I started this journey last year, and it was shortly after I gave birth to my son. I think the moment for me was when, after I gave birth, I was so focused on losing weight that I didn't even care that I just gave birth. I was like, okay, cool. I just went through this traumatic experience. I gave myself no grace. I jumped right back into a diet and I said, I have to lose all this baby weight immediately because I gained all this weight during pregnancy. It's gotta go. And I was uncomfortable in my my family photo shoots for my son's newborn photos, and I was like 40 pounds then like lighter than I am now, and I was uncomfortable. I can't believe it. I was really beating myself up. Like I didn't think that I deserved, you know, to eat anything. I jumped into crash dieting. I wasn't sleeping because I had my son who was an infant and had colic, and I had postpartum depression, and then I was trying to starve myself to get to a certain weight. That was the aha moment for me. And it makes me mad that it took me that long to get to that moment, but everyone's experience is different, and that just happens to be my experience. And I wish I got there sooner, but it took me a little longer. Took me until I was 30. So I'm really hoping that, if anything, if you take away anything from my content, is that you're worthy at every weight and at any weight. Okay, my brows are done. I think the last thing I have to do is my lips. So let's find one or two more questions and let's do it. Do you weigh yourself? Yes and no. I am aware of what I weigh right now, within a range. I have a scale. I do not weigh myself frequently. And I do not weigh myself in the sense of hoping that I lost weight, if that makes sense. I think that one of the things for me that I struggled with the most when I was dieting is like the number on the scale. So I think for me, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't weighing myself I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't weighing myself for the reason with hopes that I had lost weight, if that makes sense. By the way, that was the EVO Skin lip serum. It's just peppermint and hemp. And then I'm going to go into a lipstick. This one, which is the L'Oreal Paris Color Rich line, and it's in shade Varnished Rosewood. Come on. So yes, I do weigh myself. I'm aware of how much I weigh, but at the same time, I don't do it daily. I don't even remember the last time I weighed myself. And it's literally for me how I'm feeling. As long as I'm feeling good in my body, mentally, physically, that's what's most important to me, not the number on a scale. Do you use primer? I don't like it. I think primer's kind of, honestly, you saw me do my makeup. I don't use primer very often. I've owned primer that I thought was decent, but I think for the price, in a lot of cases, it's not worth it. I use a serum, Sometimes I'll just use the serum if I'm finding my skin has enough moisture in it. If my skin is really dry, I'll also go in with a moisturizer on top of the serum. As long as my face is moisturized, I don't find a need for primer. But if you have a really good primer recommendation that you're like ride or die, tell me what it is and I'll buy it and I'll try it. Let me know, because I'm always up for trying something new. But that's it, we're done. I have a face of makeup. I answered your question. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'm gonna have videos coming out way more frequently. I love you all. Have a fantastic day. See you later.